So I'll encourage you to find a position comfortably on the floor or the bed. You can have your legs long or a pillow underneath them. Utilizing a pillow under the head if it feels right for you. Just inviting a soma scan. We're going to do it a little differently this time. I'm going to start at the right foot, noticing from the heel how the heel is resting on the floor. And drawing your attention up through the back of your leg, noticing what areas of the leg are connecting to the floor. And into the hip, noticing how the hip is weighted on the floor. Coming down to the left foot, noticing into the heel how it's resting on the floor. Moving up through the calf and the knee, the upper leg, noticing how it is resting on the floor. Into the glute and the hip of that left leg, just noticing what areas are resting on the floor and what aren't. Noticing in both legs any tensions in through the hips and the pelvis, noticing how it is landing on the floor. Noticing if one side is higher or the other. Moving in through the spine, allowing your attention to each vertebrae all the way up the spine, all the way to the head and neck. Letting your attention go into your shoulders, noticing their placement in time and space and weight on the floor. Noticing in through the mid-back how the ribs are connecting or not to the floor. Attention down the right arm, noticing any tensions all the way to the tips of the finger. Noticing what area of the arm is resting on the floor. Moving your focus now into the left arm. Noticing any tensions all the way down to the tips of the fingers. Noticing how the arm is resting on the floor. What area of the arm is resting on the floor. Moving your focus and awareness now back to the top of the spine where it joins with the head. Moving your attention down your spine, notice what areas you notice and what areas you almost skip right over. Those are likely areas of past injury, of repetitive posture in holding patterns. Moving your awareness all the way back down to the tips of the toes. And taking a breath or two here. Just noticing your breath. How far does it reach? Where does it reach? Is it shallow or deep? And when you're ready, I'm going to have you bring your feet flat on the floor so your knees are up to the ceiling. And hips can be comfortably placed, and knees and feet can be adjusted as needed. I'm going to take a few moments here to do a tilt and flatten. So thinking about, on your next inhale, your belly button rising up to the ceiling. Tip of tailbone will tilt down gently to the floor. Your back will arch just a little. Breathing out, the back will flatten to the floor, and the tip of the tailbone will rise up gently to the ceiling. Breathing in, that belly button goes up, the back gently arches, shoulder blades and hips move closer together, tip of tailbone goes down. Breathing out, past neutral, tip of tailbone's going up, back slowly flattens to the floor. And doing a few more breaths here in that fashion, allowing yourself to notice what moves and what doesn't. And just letting your breath go back to neutral. I'm going to take the right leg and cross it over top of the left. We can have it as the figure 4 or where the calf is resting on the leg. And just at your own breathing, allowing your legs to drift gently to the right. And here's where we're going to do it a little bit differently today. You're going to continue the motion, drifting gently to the right and coming back to neutral. Drifting gently to the right and coming back to neutral. And just notice as you do this motion, as I continue to speak, how you notice the hips moving, how you notice the glutes engaging to bring you back to neutral. How do you notice the spine move gently as you drift to the right? And just like always, that slow and controlled motion back to neutral. Watching for any sense or motor amnesia, and just allow yourself to recontract and take it through again if any arrives. And just noticing as you do this, if things become freer and more available. And can you soften anywhere else to make this motion have more ease? And then when you come back up to neutral, allowing your legs to rest long, uncrossing and bringing your legs long. And again, just doing a quick scan through both legs, noticing if they're laying any differently than the first scan. Noticing up through the spine, all the way to the head, and then down through the spine, just noticing if there's any differences. And on your next breath, we'll bring the knees up again, so the feet are flat on the floor, the knees are pointed to the ceiling. And taking the leg now, the left leg, and crossing it over the right. And again, crossing it in the placement that feels the most comfortable to you. And slowly just drifting to the left, just only going as far as comfortable. And continuing this motion, drifting to the left and slowly with control coming back to neutral. And as you continue this motion, notice, can you feel it in through the sole of your foot? Or is all the movement coming from the ankle? And continuing this motion, gently drifting to the left and slowly with control coming back to neutral. Just noticing how it is different from the other side. Allowing your notice to become present in the hips, feeling the movement there and how it's connected and may even move up into the lower back and into the spine. And continuing this motion, only going is as far as comfortable. We know that this motion can be utilized in a lot of stretching. And that is not what we're doing. We're looking to increase muscle intelligence, muscle connection, mind and body connection. Inviting the system to remember what movement is actually possible. And continuing just to allow the movement to be, and just notice when it stops, what is inhibiting the movement further. Remembering to listen for any sensor motor amnesia into or out of the position. We want to help rewrite that. We don't want to skip it over. All too often in life, we just push through and carry on. This time is for you, and this is your invitation to really be present with your body, to allow it to do something differently. When you're back at neutral, allowing your legs to rest a moment, uncross, and lay flat on the floor. And allowing yourself again just to breathe naturally and notice up and through the legs if they're laying differently than the last two scans. Notice if the weight placement or position placement is different. Moving up into the hips, to the sacrum, and all the way through the spine. Noticing all the way up to the tip of the head. And then back down, all the way to the tips of the toes. Just noticing how things are different. And for this next one, your legs can be straight or they can be bent. And I'm going to invite you to place your hands behind your head with your hands clasped So your head is resting in your fingers, in your palms. And what we're going to do is not a crunch, but we're going to be curious about supporting our head and lifting it with the assistance of our hands and arms. So gently, as you exhale, thinking about lifting the head and the neck and the arms up off the floor, and slowly with control bringing it down. And so when you're ready for the next, your elbows can drift in together, lifting the head, neck up off the floor with assistance from the hands and arms. Just notice as you do so, continuing this motion up and down at your own pace as I continue to speak. And just noticing when the neck stops, what is the inhibiting factor? And the next one, try as you exhale, noticing the restrictions down the spine or in the chest. It's not about holding in position, but allowing the movement to occur. And again, watching for that sensor motor amnesia. And each time, it's not about pushing further. It's just about being curious as to what your body is able to do. Noticing how it might be different. Allowing yourself to be soft through the neck, through the jaw, through the throat, chest, and belly. And when you're back at neutral, you can let your arms rest for a moment in whatever position feels right for you. And then we're going to just notice down again through the legs, up from the soles of the feet, tips of the toes, through the backs of the leg, just noticing if it's different, all the way through the spine to the tip of the head. And then back and down, remembering that if there's pain, stop, do less. Even doing the motion in your mind's eye is more productive than repeating old unhealthy patterns. So when you're ready, you can bring your feet flat on the floor, knees up to the ceiling. And again, just crossing that right leg over your left. And just leaving the legs in neutral. Gently lengthen the spine, lifting the head and neck up off the floor with assistance from your arms. And slowly continue this motion up and down. And allow yourself to notice when you lift. Do your legs drift? Do they drift to the right? Do they stay neutral? Or do they drift to the left? See if you can soften in through the chest. And as you exhale, engage and lift, noticing where the neck is willing to move and where it doesn't. And allow everything to rest. And we'll gently drift to the right with the legs. And not too far, because we're actually going to hold the legs in this position this time. And slowly, with control, lifting the head, neck, knee with support from the hands, up and off the floor and back down. And allowing yourself to notice what you notice as you do this motion. Noticing what stops the lift of the head. Is it tightness through the chest or the spine? And is there anything that can be softened in your body to allow this movement to be a little freer? And just noticing how it's different. And when you're back down to neutral, allowing your arms to rest wherever it's comfortable, bringing your knees back up to neutral, and crossing the legs and letting them rest a moment. You can place them flat so you can do that scan again if it is right for you. And if the knees remain up, still allowing yourself to notice up and through the backs of the legs, up through the spine, all the way to the tip of the head, and down. Just noticing what is different. And when you're ready, if the legs were long, bringing the feet back up to be flat on the floor, knees pointed to the ceiling. We're now going to cross that left leg over the right. Again, just noticing how it's different than the right leg crossover. And a gentle drift to the left of the legs. Remembering only going as far as comfortable. It's not about stretching. I'm going to hold the legs there. And when you're ready, we're going to lift the neck again. And slowly, with control, bringing it back down to neutral. And noticing if it's different on this side. Noticing if it's easier or harder. And as you lift, you can let your elbows drift together, allowing your arms to assist you in the motion. Noticing if the legs drift in or out. And just continuing the motion, allowing yourself to be curious. What stops the movement of the head and neck? Can you be softer in the chest or in the spine to allow ease of movement to occur? Can you soften in through the hips, in through the jaw, and trying the lift on the exhale, remembering that doing these motions in your mind's eye can be just as productive, if not more. Remembering that we are not looking to do a crunch, we're looking for movement of the spine. And noticing if that one just felt a little differently than the one before. And one more time if it feels right for you. Allowing everything to soften, bringing the legs to neutral. Gently uncrossing the legs. The arms can rest back down by sides your body. And the legs, if it feels comfortable for you, can stretch out long. And scanning from the heel and the tips of the toes all the way up the backs of the legs. Noticing how they're different than they were before. All the way through the spine, all the way up to the tip of the head. And then back down the spine and back down the legs. And just giving yourself a moment here to allow everything to soften and everything to rest. Going to have a gentle conversation with the mid-back, the mid-spine. So what we're going to do, the legs can remain long or bent, whatever feels right for you. I'm going to take one hand, placing it up into your armpit, kind of hugging yourself. If you can, reach the side of your body, almost so you get on the lats or your back, and then crossing over and hugging the other side. Finding how you can place your hands. And the trick is, we're going to end up doing it the other way too. But starting with the way that's the most comfortable for you. And so slowly and gently, we're going to just drift the shoulders and torso to the left. And then back to neutral and to the right. Noticing how it moves and how it doesn't. And for comfort and ease of the back and lower back, I'd recommend bringing your feet flat on the floor and your knees pointed to the ceiling. And slowly, as I continue to speak, just allowing yourself to gently rock left and right. Helping direct your body with your hands, lifting and rolling just gently. Noticing what is moving and what isn't. Allowing yourself to be curious about sensor motor amnesia in this as well. Noticing as you move, does your neck move a little bit? Does your lower back start to move? Your hips, your knees. Allowing yourself to gently roll left and right. Letting your breath continue. And when you get back to neutral, allow your arms just to rest a moment. Noticing from the tip of the spine up to the tip of the head, if you notice more of the spinal column. Scanning down from the tip of the head to the sacrum, to the tip of the tailbone. Just noticing what you notice. And allowing everything to soften and everything to rest. I'm going to take the arms and cross them over in the opposite position, knowing that it might be a little uncomfortable, and doing your best just to find ease with it and adjust accordingly. And ideally, the hand placement will be not on the shoulders. It will be a little bit lower down. And taking a moment here, and when you're ready, allowing yourself to drift to the left. And then slowly, with control, coming to neutral and drift to the right. Continuing this motion back and forth, just allowing yourself to notice what you notice. Remembering, if there's pain, do less. If there's still pain, do this motion in your mind's eye. Remembering to breathe here. And noticing how it is different with the arms crossed over in this different fashion. Noticing if the neck moves, if the lower back moves, if the hips move, if the knees gently drift as well. When you come back to neutral, letting the arms rest if they'd like to. And if they're good, allow them to stay in the same position. We're going to engage the neck this time. So as we drift left, we're going to allow the head and the eyes to drift left. And as we come to neutral, allowing the head, neck, and eyes to neutral. As we drift right, head, neck, and eyes to the right, allowing more of the spine to come online, allowing yourself to continue this motion as you rotate gently, allowing the head, neck, and eyes to move in the direction. When you get right rotation of the head, neck, and eyes, and torso, leaving the head and eyes in that direction, and slowly allow the torso to come to neutral and drift left. Continuing the motion. Keeping the head, neck, and eyes to the right Just noticing what you notice. And when the torso is back, drifted to the right, the same side that the head, neck, and eyes are looking towards, I invite you to leave the eyes drifted right and allow the torso, head, and neck to drift to neutral. Keeping the eyes drifted right. And then past neutral, keep the eyes drifted to the right and allowing the head and neck and torso to drift fully to the left. And continuing, the eyes drifted to the right, taking the body, the torso, the head, and the neck all back to the right. Just noticing what you notice. When you get to the right, allow everything to soften and come just back to neutral. And if the arms need to rest, give them a little bit of space to rest. And while you do so, allow yourself to scan your spine again, from the tip of the tailbone all the way up to the cranium. From that cranium, otherwise known as your head, all the way down to the tip of the tailbone. Just noticing, is there more vertebrae this time? Are there more areas of your spine that you can come in conversation with, in connection with? And when you're ready, if you're ready, allowing yourself to give your body the gentle hug again. And we'll slowly drift to the left, head, neck, and eyes, and torso to the left. And leaving the head and neck to the left, gently rotating the torso to the right. Slowly continuing this rotation of the torso, allowing the head to remain drifted to the left. Remembering less is more. Invite softness into wherever might be gripping. Noticing how this might feel different from the other side. And when your body is drifted again to the left, in the position that the head and neck and eyes are in, allowing the head, neck, and eyes to drift to neutral. Drifting to the right, allowing the head, neck, eyes, and torso to drift. And coming back all the way to the left. Head, neck, eyes, and torso. Gently resting the head, neck, and eyes. And as you begin to rotate the torso, leaving the eyes drifted to the left, allow the head and neck to follow the movement of the torso, keeping the eyes drifted left as you go past neutral and all the way to the right with the torso, head, and neck, keeping the eyes drifted left. And slowly bringing all back to neutral, keeping the eyes to the left. Slowly rotating the torso to the left. And the head, neck, and eyes still to the left. Allowing yourself to go to neutral with the head, neck, and eyes and torso. Allowing your arms to rest beside you. Again, doing a scan from the soles of the feet all the way up the back body, all the way through the spine, up to the head and down. And with curiosity, allow yourself to turn your head to the neck, your head and neck to the left and to the right. Just noticing how it might feel different. And one more time, we're going to engage that self-hug, whichever hand position feels right for you. And so allowing the head to go wherever it would like, and just allow yourself a gentle rocking left and right. And so what we're going to invite you to do is see if you can speed it up for a moment. So the motion is going to be very small, being able to speed it up so it's left, right, left, right, left, right. Allowing yourself to see if you can speed it up even a little bit more. Remembering to breathe, knowing that it needs to be small movements to have it speed up. And now allow yourself to slow it down again. And noticing how it might feel different than it did when we started. When you're at neutral, allowing the arms to rest. We're going to take that right leg and cross it over the left as our feet are flat on the floor and our knees are up to the ceiling. And gently drifting to the right with the legs, noticing if it feels different than when we started. And bringing it back to neutral, taking it through this motion a few times. Again, allowing your awareness into the sole of that left foot. Notice as you come to neutral, the equal weight on the left foot. And as you drift back to the right, how the weight changes to the insole of that left foot. Allowing the motion to follow all the way through to the foot. And doing this motion a few more times, allowing yourself to breathe and be curious, noticing how the motion is different than it was before. Let yourself notice as you do that movement, is there more movement through the spine? You notice movement through the neck and head even. And when you get back to neutral, letting yourself rest a moment and uncrossing the legs. And then we're going to cross that left over the right. Taking a breath or two here, and when you're ready, slowly allow yourself to drift the legs to the left. And then coming back up to neutral. Noticing the weight change through the right sole of your foot that is planted on the floor. As you drift to the left, you'll notice more weight on the insole. As you go to neutral, a more equal weight distribution. Letting yourself notice, can you soften through the hips and pelvis just a little more? Letting yourself breathe naturally. Notice what parts of the spine are moving. Notice how it's different than it was when you started. You notice movement in the head and the neck as you gently drift to the left and to neutral. Very good. When you come back up to neutral, allowing your legs to rest a moment and uncross. Laying the legs flat on the floor, again if it feels right for you. Allowing yourself to do a scan, noticing the difference from the first scan to now. Up the right leg from the heel, all the way to the hip. And the left leg, all the way to the hip, up through the spine, noticing what you notice is different, all the way to the tip of the head, and slowly back down the spine, all the way to the tips of the toes. I invite you now to finish with a tilt and flatten. So bringing the feet back up flat on the floor, the knees pointed to the ceiling. Allowing yourself to draw your attention to your back body as you breathe in, that belly button lifts up. Notice, is there more awareness in your back? As you breathe out, allowing the body to contract just a little in the abdomen as the back tightens and flattens to the floor. As you breathe in, noticing the tip of the tailbone, the movement of the head. And out, the rise of the tip of the tailbone and the movement of the head. Allowing yourself a few more breaths here. And then letting your breath just come back to your own breathing. And taking your time to lay on your side. And when you are back up in gravity and walking, really allowing yourself to notice what it is that you notice. Allow yourself to be curious as to what is different. Noticing if even the way that your feet are connecting to the floor feels different. You might notice as you're shoulder checking when you're driving that you have more rotation in the spine. You might be able to bend or pick something up off the floor with more ease. Just allow yourself to be curious over the next few days. Thank you.
Thank you.